RBI is no longer the RBI that it was, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
RBI is very simple, very smooth, very straightforward now. Anybody who wants to invest money abroad, RBI has made their life very, very simple. Every Indian who has a PAN card, he can easily invest up to $250,000 under liberalized remittance scheme. Earlier, it was considered that RBI and FEMA and all these things were like a big taboo in your mind कि सब लोग ये सब नहीं संभाल सकते. Everybody cannot handle this. Earlier, FEMA was called as FERA. It was called Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. This was later changed in 2000 and termed as Foreign Exchange Management Act because it is more about managing the finances than about regulating or anything.